Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist, and I'm creating a video every day for a whole year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety. This is video 184 of 365, and this is Life Spells. Welcome, welcome. My channel is about talking about therapy, mental health, manifestation, self-concept, just all of the ancient wisdom that we really need to bring into modern mental health, I feel. So I love talking about all this stuff. Yes, I wanted to bring up some things that happened today in some sessions I had, and they kind of all mirrored each other. Who would have thunk it, a mirror? Everything is a mirror to us. So look at your world as a mirror. What is it trying to tell you about you? So there's some situations lately where there's unfavorable circumstances happening around you and with people, let's say. So what normally seems to happen is that someone will say something to you that you don't like, or they'll do something that you don't like, or something. They'll do something that conjures up a feeling in you, an emotion in your body, and maybe anger. And so basically what that's doing is it's showing you where you have some sort of wound. So, and underneath that wound is a belief system about yourself, or about the world, or about some expectation that you have, or something that you learned. So let's say somebody does something and you're like, oh my God, they did this to me and I feel this way about it. I'm angry. Ask yourself, what about that made me so angry in the first place? Like, really examine it, because that person is showing you and igniting in you energy that is keeping you back from everything you want. Look at it that way. Like, these emotions are meant to be indications of something that is off in your belief system. If you look at it like that, you have all the power. You just took your power back, because as soon as that person makes you feel something, which they don't make you feel anything, they just trigger a feeling that's already active in you. But when we say they made us feel this way, it means we've said, here's my power, take it. It's like you're handing them a ball. That's your power. You're taking it out of your body and saying, here's this power, take it, do what you will with it. And that's why we're so angry. We're really angry at ourselves a lot of the time, and not that person. They just conjured up that energy that's been, say, stagnant in you, or maybe it comes out every day. Maybe you get triggered every day with anger or sadness, something, and you never really come down off of that. And so it seems like you're stuck every day, Groundhog Day, just every single day, same day over and over. And so if we want different outcomes, we've got to change the way we're thinking. Because with the same brain and the same way of thinking, we're going to get the same results. That's pretty logical. And so we've got to recognize that all we have to do is change the way that we're thinking. And it sounds so easy, doesn't it? It sounds very easy and simple, but yet we know this, but we can't seem to get past ourselves, can't get over ourselves. The habit of being ourselves. We've got to get over that habit of being ourselves. We've got to get over the habit of being the old self so we can turn into the new self. And I'm not a therapist and I'm not talking down on any therapist or any YouTuber or anybody. I love what everybody does. I'm just doing my own thing. And my own opinion is, for me, I've taken my job very seriously over the years. And I was always looking for something more than just giving coping skills to someone. I wanted to transform their life for them, or not for them, but with them, teach them how to think and how to use their mind properly to get what they're wanting. And so my approaches have changed over the years, of course, but I'm not into just giving a coping skill anymore. It's more like, let's rip the root out and replace all this wiring, rip out the old wiring and replace it with new wiring. And that's basically what you're doing when you're changing your belief systems. Your belief systems were programmed into you from the past, whether it was somebody telling you that you're not good enough, or you interpreting events or situations that happened as you're not good enough, or whatever the cognitive distortion is, let's call it, like just a very distorted way of looking at yourself that makes you feel not so good and not worthy and not deserving of things, because we will self-sabotage. If we don't feel good enough or deserving, we will self-sabotage. And that was a session I had today. It was a very small thing that was triggering a very big emotion and a very big angry outburst. And then subsequently, feelings of embarrassment and feeling bad that happened, things like that. But it all tied back to childhood. Someone telling you you're worthless, or telling you you're not good enough, or you're not doing that good enough, or whatever the case is. And so we carry that on into today. So just knowing that your belief systems were programmed into you from the past, I feel is so valuable to just know that, because, and also to know that you can reprogram today and turn into a brand new person. It's priceless to know that, because most people that I've encountered have felt very stuck in who they are, and they don't even know who they want to become. And so there's nothing better than getting to know yourself. There's just nothing better. And so I had this person connect to themselves in a way that they hadn't thought of. And I changed the perspective around. You can look at something as terrible or amazing, the same event. This is terrible because it made me feel this way. But then again, it showed me that I'm feeling this way and I'm carrying this energy. And I think that's one of the biggest things to remember, is that when you get a trigger, it's a gift. That person is showing you you. That person is showing you something in you. Whenever anything ignites, when you got that fire inside of you that ignites and you're like, whoa, I feel this, acknowledge it. Say, I feel this. I feel it in my body. I feel it right here. I feel it in my stomach. Oh, my stomach hurts. Why? Ask why. Really talk to yourself. Where did this come from? Because that energy, I believe, is like trying to be transmuted into love or released in general, just to get it out of you, because we never want to be controlled by anything outside of us. I think that's the overarching thing here. We want to create these mental states from within ourselves with nothing changing outside of us. And what's crazy is the paradox of it all is that when we do that, we start to get the things that we wanted, that we thought would make us happy. But now it seems normal and natural for those things to occur, which is the coolest thing ever. So you're never going to be a better manifester than you are right now. You're a master manifester the way you are right now. Everything around you is instantaneously manifested. It's just, I look at it like, if something hasn't materialized yet, then we're not ready for it. There's something, because it's not about getting the thing we're wanting necessarily. It's about becoming the person that has that thing already, or that person, or whatever it is that you're wanting. It's becoming, it's the experience along that path of becoming that person. And when I finally got that over the last couple years, I'll say, I was like, wow, this is so cool. And to me, it's part of self-love. When you're on that journey and you're not so focused anxiously. I should go get anxiety. She's over there on the dresser. I'm too lazy to get up, and I have pajama pants on. You guys can't tell, but I got pajama pants on. That's the beauty of working from home. Nobody knows you're wearing pajama pants. It's great. That's one of the perks. I just was lazy today, and I was like, nope, not putting real pants on. We're putting the pajama pants on. So it's great. But anyway, so yeah, you have to watch what is being conjured up in you, because it's there for a reason. And we're anxiously attached to everything around us. Like, we're so attached, and it causes so much inner turmoil that we don't even realize it sometimes. And I basically say, well, it could be some sort of trauma that you experienced before, that you're kind of recreating now. And in order to heal it, what if that's the case? Like, let's change. And once you change, you heal. It's like a byproduct of change. And change occurs when you decide. All that you need to do is decide to make a change. If you can't decide to make a change, then you got to identify, what are the barriers going on here? Like, what is keeping me from making this decision to turn into this new person that I want to become? Do I even want to become this person? Why do I want to become this person? Why am I not happy right now? Because only you can answer these questions. And so that's why I feel like no one really knows anything. You ask people, like, what do you know? And they say, man, I know this and this and this. And it's kind of like, we really kind of know nothing. In a way, we have these theories. But I will say that I do believe that what we assume about ourselves, the law of assumption and all these, I do believe in these universal laws. They make the most sense to me out of anything. And they've all got a purpose. They show you like where you focus your energy, that's where your energy will flow. And that I love learning about quantum entanglement, like how we're all affecting each other, no matter if we're a mile apart or a million miles apart, we're still affecting the other person. It's on a subconscious energetic level, but we're all connected. And so if we're all connected, if you're judging somebody else, you're actually judging yourself. It's like, that's the mirror effect of it all. So there's so many ways to look at this. And I think it's so interesting. There's so many cool books out there. I know I had an awesome subscriber ask me to come up with, ask me if I had any life-changing books, and I will be coming up with a list, and I might be just doing a video on each book or something. I don't know. But there's so many great books out there and that have changed my life. But The Science of Getting Rich is one of my favorite ones. I love that one. I have so many others, though. I can't think of them right now because the camera's on, so I just can't remember sometimes. But read these books, The Secret and Think and Grow Rich and all of these things. Like, read them and study them because it teaches you how to direct your thought. Like, that's really what we need to do, is direct our thought, command the formless substance of the universe to create this scene that we want to happen, or this thing that we want to occur in life. The universe is waiting for us to command it and say, this is what I'm wanting. And the universe then conspires for even 1,000 people to come together to give you what you want at the perfect orchestrated time. But I think that it's remembering that you are becoming a person that can handle, let's say, the things that you're wanting. Maybe you think you're ready to get married, but you're not really. Or you think you're ready to make $1 million, but really you're not ready. Really think about and think about the identity of that person that has what you're wanting, and think, what would being married entail? To me, it's one of the most important decisions you make. When I was married before, I knew it was important, but I didn't really fully understand, because I was still younger, about like the role of a wife and the role of a husband and how important that is and how sacred that should be in a marriage, to take that role on. Maybe you're just not ready for that yet. You think you are, but maybe you're not. Maybe you like to go out and party still, or whatever it is that you like to do. Or maybe you're not ready, like mature enough maybe. That's something, you have to really you have to get real with yourself and ask yourself, like, are there certain areas where I could mature myself in to become even better? Because you'll marry somebody just like you. So if you're feeling like you're, not great in one area, the person you marry might not be great in some area too. And so maybe it's better to just I use the term put yourself back in the oven, and maybe you're not ready yet. You're not ready to stick the toothpick in there yet and see if everything's, cooked to perfection. Maybe you need to go back in that oven a little while. Maybe your person needs to go back in the oven for a little while. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we're always in a hurry to get things done or get things accomplished. We base our worth on accomplishments. I did talk to somebody about that today, about having to do all the time. And we really need to just be. We need to slow down. We need to be present. There are so many things that we have to get done, of course. We've got a million things. Tomorrow's the day before Thanksgiving, so everybody I know is probably a little frantic if they're cooking or, whatever is going on. There's just more to do right now. And so it's hard to remember to be present, but you've got to train yourself. And I was teaching today how you train your mind to go where you want it to go. You're just going to gently direct yourself, or not gently, however you want to do it. It's up to you how you do this. It's totally up to you. Only you are going to know what works for you. But you got to practice it. And you got to suspend your disbelief, as they say. You got to put that disbelief over in a box on the shelf and start believing that, wow, I wonder if this really could be what I could do. It's just change my thinking and see myself differently. Live by love instead of fear. Because there's either really, love or fear. So a lot of the time I think we're living in fear. And when I learned about, unconditional love and what that really meant, I was like, wow, that's something I wasn't living by, and to me, unconditional love is first starting with yourself. and then radiating that out to others. Because once you can accept yourself, it's a lot easier to accept others. Like really accept them. Like accept them as in like they don't have to change anything about themselves and you still love them. And you're not going to complain about the things that they won't change about themselves. That to me is unconditional love. You're not trying to change them and you're not complaining about the things that they should be doing. That was me. I was doing that too. Like, well, this isn't healthy and this needs to change and this and this and this. And it's like, that's who they are. Can they do better in certain areas? Well, whose definition is like what's better to that person? Like what's better to you may not be better to another person. So, and then I thought, well, would I want somebody trying to change me? No. So we got to let each other off the hook and kind of like put ourselves on the hook for a little while and focus on ourselves, the self-concept. How do you see yourself? How do you feel about yourself? What do you assume about yourself that's true? Check your assumptions. Are they true? Are they based on facts? Even if they're based on some facts, like, wouldn't it be better to start believing that you're amazing versus you're inadequate in some way? That you're perfectly perfect as you are. We all have flaws, but they're all perceived flaws. What if we said we're flawless? Like, what if we just said, yeah, we're in progress right now. We're learning. There's nothing wrong with you. In other words, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You're just becoming a new person and you got to go with your own flow. Your soul is calling you to change things. And so it's up to you to decide when and where. You know, you just decide and you start saying, I'm going to choose love over fear. What fearful things have I been living from? What have I been doing that I'm fearful of, like, something bad happening if I don't continue to do this? Or what would I be fearful of if I let go of this thing I've been thinking about for so long that isn't coming to fruition and it's just pushing it away even more the more I think about it? What could I let go of? Because we're hurting ourselves with our thoughts a lot of the time. And that's how I looked at it too. I was like, well, I've been hurt so much in life. I don't want to hurt myself anymore. And when that shifts in you, look at all your thoughts that don't feel good as you're hurting yourself and it's not serving you. So if it's hurting you and not serving you, logic says, let's direct our energy somewhere else. And so it's taking your awareness from what you're aware of currently and conscious of and placing it somewhere else. It's not necessarily even replacing it. It's just saying, I see this, I acknowledge this, but I'd prefer to look over here. And you kind of just live from that. You just live there in your mind. You're not there in the physical right now, but your mind is. Because your mind, you get to decide, am I going to keep my mind in the 3D, the way that it is, and it doesn't feel good? Or am I going to go over here to my 4D, my imagination? Because that's where tomorrow is created. Tomorrow is created from today. So if that's the case, then we need to start staying in our vision. And your vision could just be, I prefer to feel better. Maybe you don't know anything else other than that. I just prefer to feel better. So then that's all you say to yourself. I prefer to feel better. And I think I can make myself feel a little bit better by thinking something that would make me feel just a 1% better. What could that be? And then you just start programming that. You could call it programming, rewiring, reframing, whatever you want to say, whatever term fits you. And you move forward with that. And you live from that. If you keep that a mental image in your head, in your mind, and you remember that mental image that you created from nothing. You just imagine this thing and you keep that in your mind and act like you are that person that has it all day. You just guide yourself back. As soon as you notice it's not there, you guide yourself back. As soon as you notice it's not there, you guide yourself back. As soon as you notice that somebody triggered you and they said this thing to you, they got your goat from you, they just controlled you, and say to yourself, I got to interrupt this pattern. I got to disrupt. So as I disrupt, I can decide what else to replace this, to inject this into me instead of the injections that have been injected by other people that don't mean anything. Those are just the past programming, the old blobs of energy teaching you something. We don't need those old blobs of energy. We need the current. What are the current blobs What are they teaching you about you? Always ask, what is this person, when somebody upsets you, say, what is this teaching me about me? And what meaning have I made from whatever they said to me or did? What meaning did I make that mean about me or whatever? And you just question it. Because the more you get to know the answers, you can look back and be like, wow, that never made sense to even believe that way. I've been holding on to that for no reason. And then you got to decide that I'm going to let go of this. Are you going to let go of the past? You got to decide today. Are you going to let go of the past? Well, you don't have to decide today, but I'm not trying to control you in any way, but you got to decide whenever it's time for you. And you get to decide the time for you. When are you going to let go? And then what are you going to start deliberately thinking instead of the old way? The old way is never going to give you a new outcome. It's going to give you the same old outcomes all the time. So your mind has to shift. You have to change in order to heal. Healing comes naturally to change. So you just got to change and decide, what does change look like for me? Change might look like something different for somebody else. But I guarantee you, from what I've seen, the root of it is self-concept. And this is coming from friends, family, and clients, professional and non-professional, in my career and out of the career. This is what I've noticed, and myself, personal experience too, personal and professional. It is all there is, because we are all there is. You are all that is. We are the I am. I am that I am. Be still and know that I am. We need to get more still and know that we are. We are it. We are the I am. We matter. And we have a purpose. And so question, why? Why did this make me feel this way? What is this attached to? And then just go from there. And you start to be able to notice these patterns that don't even make sense anymore. And you start to trust yourself, because you're showing up for yourself more and more, and you're not abandoning yourself anymore. You're actually sitting there in your feelings, processing them and transmuting them. They don't need to be there anymore. You don't need to sit there for 10 hours and process. You just need to find the meaning that was attached that doesn't make any sense. And then it seems like nonsense. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is nonsense. I'm going to just let this go, because this doesn't fit into the new life that I want to have. So really think about that. What is the identity that I want to move into? And what wounds are these people bringing up in me that I need to transmute? Because this old energy that's in me, maybe that means that maybe if this energy is in me, I'm not ready for a wife or a husband. I'm not ready to have a child. I'm not ready to buy a house. I'm not ready to buy a new car. I'm not ready for a new career, because I've got this energy in me. Think about that. That might help you too, to just look at it like that. What if this is so active in me that I can't even see it, but other people can feel it? Remember, energy speaks. It's not our words that speak. It's our energy that speaks. And when I learned that again, I was like, oh man, I got to shift my energy. Doesn't matter what you say. It matters what people feel coming off of you. You're emitting this signal. So you could say all day long, I deserve better than this, and I just, this and that. And it's like, you're putting off this energy that somebody's picking up on. And that's the beauty of looking in the mirror and saying, golly, what is this person showing me that is active in me? What is this? And to me, it's just such a fun game to play. I love seeing, what people say, and then what I feel, and then attaching it to something. It's just so interesting to kind of get to know yourself. And then pretty soon, you're different. You just think differently. And according to quantum physics, of course, we shift bodies billions of times a second. And that's a whole other video. So think about that. You're shifting bodies every second. You're not the same you that you were. The people around you aren't the same. Even though they look the same and you look the same, you're not the same. And that's why we've got to let go of the past, because the past doesn't even exist. We only have now. So what are you going to do with your now? What I'm going to do is what I'm preaching to you guys. I do it all the time. I have fun with it, and I make peace with myself, which helps me make peace with other people and helps me love other people unconditionally, because I'm finally learning to love myself unconditionally, which has taken some time. I'm almost 43 years old. It's taken a while. But it's worth it. You're worth it. I'm worth it. You got to put that work in on yourself, because it's not even work. It's just like getting to know you, getting to know who you are as an identity, as a person. In this particular life that we're in, this experience, you get to determine what that is. And remember, the mental state that you're in is creating everything around you. Your whole reality and your whole perception of the reality is being projected out of your mental state that you're holding. So that person that's getting your goat, they're very much showing you where you're pushing the things away that you want. And they're activating an old wound that just needs to heal. And remember that healing is a byproduct of change. We don't really heal anything. We change first. We turn into a different identity, and then the healing is a byproduct of that. So I think I'll leave you with that. I could ramble on and on. You know me. So I will let you go. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Remember, you are loved, and what you appreciate. So appreciate yourself. And if this message helped you in any way, please share it with somebody else. We got to get some of this information out there to other people that need it. And yes, please just take it easy on yourself. I know the next few days might be busy for some of us. So make sure you're taking good care of yourself and taking a break from social media. You know, maybe don't watch my videos for a couple days. If you need a break from YouTube and all the chaos of social media, just take a break for a couple days. And I'll be here, you know, they're all recorded. So take a break and enjoy yourselves with your family and friends. And I'll be back tomorrow as usual. So I will see you then. Bye.